We are back with the Pipe It Up podcast here in Conroe, Texas at the MLW Rumble Tournament here in 2023. We are doing a hotel group pod. Cue the intro. I'm Brennan Jorgensen.
My name's Tom. I'm the usual host here, sharing duties tonight, but I'm excited for another hotel room pod.
My name is Bennett.
They call me Ryan, Mr. 300.
I'm Dallas Allen, and I love Casey Bennett.
Nick Saylor, and I'm trying to figure out how to still hit a wiffle ball.
I'm Jimmy Knorp.
Jim has his own camera over there. He's special. You know, Jimmy always gets special treatment here on the podcast, so we got most people here. Kyle and Mr. Schultz and Greg are asleep, but we got most people here.
Jorgie, how was your evening been?
My evening's been great. My earlier wasn't great because I literally cannot make it to the semifinals of any MLW tournament ever. And once again, quarterfinals exit. Me, Tom, and Kracht took an L.
Yeah, we bit the bullet hard on that one. Tough way to go out too. Just walk fast. You know, it's just tragic. But you know, it's safe to say that MLW White went down swinging this weekend. We did not shy away from letting it sing.
We took our hacks. We let it sing. I will say, though, it's been a humbling experience for me. I was demoted from red to white in the MLW tournament space, which, like I said, was humbling. But I probably deserved it, you know. Like Jorgie said, I haven't been to an MLW semifinal in a tournament probably since when the D-backs and Gators were added to this league back in 2019. So maybe I deserved it. I think our original roster was me, Casey Bennett, and Jorgensen.
Yeah, it was that roster was terrible to begin with, and then we got Ryan. And
it was
terrible. Yeah.
So pretty much what you're saying right now is that roster was terrible, but then you dropped Casey, and then it was okay.
It got better when
That's pretty much what you just said to Casey's face right then.
Wait. who ended up going farther in the tournament?
After
they dropped
Answer
me.
that, Jorgie.
Answer that, Jorgie.
It's political, Bennett. It's all political.
Benny, you can talk all you want. Everybody knows Mark Schultz carried that team through.
They traded
Everybody knows
me and Ryan, and
everybody knows Mark Schultz carried it through.
Not Ryan.
All I'm going to say is
easy.
No matter what would have happened, my team would have lost in the quarters. And then, I mean, you guys, Casey's team made the finals. They ended up losing.
Congrats, Casey.
The MLW Blue won the ship. That was Jimmy, Nick Saylor, Kyle Schultz, and Josh Young. They won the ship. And no matter what team I was going to be on, was going to not do great. So Kracht just had to.
I thought I could turn the ship around. You know, I thought going in that maybe I could change Jorgie's luck, but really it's just it's set in stone. There's no rewriting that one. You know,
it doesn't matter who I'm with. You know, usually I'm with me and Chadwick are biting the bullet, but this time Ryan had to join.
Yeah, no, it was fun. We faced a lot of flamethrowers this weekend.
Dude,
there was a lot of good teams out there this weekend. Even in the younger divisions, you saw a lot of kids just humming strikes. Yeah, just humming strikes. You know, shout out to my Tom Ball tanks. You know, they were just out there having a good time.
Was that team named after Tom, or was it?
I don't know. You know what's funny is when I saw the team TC35, I kind of thought that was I didn't put those pieces together because Tom, you're 32, right?
I am 32.
Yeah, see, I thought Tom was 35 for a minute. And I was like, wow, this is pretty crazy that a team named themselves after Tom. But, you know, I get it. My dad had a team named after him. He had the Greg's
Newark Bears.
Yeah, shout out to the Newark Bears. They used to be the Newark Bears. Now they're Greg's Newark Bears.
The Newark Bears, I identify with those guys. That's just a prideful bunch.
You know what that is? That's just three guys being dudes, coming out to the field and just having a good time, you know? It doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah, I agree. They played in the Long Island tournament the last time we did this podcast, actually.
Yep.
In the hotel room beds.
Yep.
And I guess they had a great time as a group down there in Long Island. And Benny's big tush just sat next to me. I had to scoot over. But we, I guess they had a good time as a group and then came down here, flew from Jersey down to H-Town. And they put together some ABs. I'll tell you what.
No, they do.
They fought this morning. I think they played a team called the Bomb Squad, a late ad team.
Mm-hmm.
And they went down swinging just like MLW White did.
They
fought to the end. I think they lost 9-8 in the last inning.
Just hard on the field. That's all it was. That is everything we had.
Yeah, but Ryan, the problem I'm having, what I'm dealing with here mentally is at some point, heart's not enough, you know? At some stage, you can no longer play the kids' game.
Ask Jorgensen.
Like
Hart only gets you to the semis.
I don't want to
not
hear
even
it.
to the semis.
No, the quarters. Hart only gets you to the quarters.
I don't want to hear it from you guys. I'm so sick of these tournaments, and at least you guys have someone to fall back on with the Preds. You know, you guys made it to the CS.
Yeah, Jorgie, you can't catch a break.
CS. I haven't been in the playoffs in 2 years. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just here to just hang out. That's basically
Sorry
what I'm
about
doing
that.
every time.
I'll try and do what I can to help you out there.
All right.
That's tragic.
You do what you can.
Right.
Can we move on to the real story that people want to hear?
Everybody wants to hear.
The team that just got the job done, no matter the circumstance. MLW Red, the Cinderella story of the tournament. All glory goes to Mark Schultz. That man was the heart and soul of our team, Dal.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I got dogged on in the Long Island Lifts tournament for playing with Jordan Robles. I got sent down to Red for this tournament, and nobody gave us a shot, Benny. Nobody gave us a shot.
I need to say something right now. Everybody's saying sent down to these different teams, like MLW Blue is like, you know, just like that. It don't matter, you know. MLW Red, MLW Blue, MLW White. Who cares? You know, it's wiffle ball. You go out there. Mark Schultz put on a showing. I heard Josh Young was throwing around 90, 95 miles an hour. Mark Schultz turned it right back around for 110. You know, you just don't see that. You just don't see that.
Josh throws very hard.
You know what I got to say about this?
Lay it on me, Jim.
And I wish that Kyle was here to talk about this because this was a surreal moment. Think about this.
I'm thinking.
Championship game in Houston, Texas came down to MLW Blue, myself, Saylor, Kyle, and Josh Young against MLW Red, which is Benny, Dallas, and Mark Schultz.
Mm-hmm.
And as I'm sitting there in the outfield of this game watching Josh Young pitch to Mark Schultz, I look over to Kyle and I have to think to myself, did you ever think in 2010, when you started this thing, you would have a World Series champion in the MLB pitching to your father in Houston, Texas?
Right.
You can't, that's unreal.
It is. It's unheard of. Yeah. Yeah. But that's MLW, right? Just never stop surprising.
What did Josh have in the tank? I heard it was pretty special.
Guess. Josh Young came out there and he threw the ball very hard. And I think it was funny. We gave him the ball in the first game of the tournament. He would just walk out there, pick up a ball, throw it 95 miles an hour right down the middle, and just keep going. The way he was just able to throw strikes was actually
you know what that
kind
is?
of
That's an
incredible.
athlete right there. That's an athlete.
Some would say a superhuman athlete.
It was not fun to hit, I will say.
I'm pretty athletic myself. How about at the dish? What was he doing?
Well, we faced a guy who was throwing about 100 miles an hour in the semifinal game, and Josh Young put us on the board and gave us a 2-0 lead.
That's how he does it. That's how he does it.
Poked a 100-mile-an-hour riser into right field, so he picks up the game very quick. No, double, but just a good piece of hitting.
Fun fact: MLW White had 0 home runs this tournament. So
surprising.
To be fair, in the playoffs or the bracket stage, we had the win straight at us on the field.
We had probably
there's no shot.
I'd say at least 7. Imagine if I hit that each game. You know, like so it just if I made contact with that, could you imagine?
We put the whiff in wiffle ball.
Yeah,
this
we
weekend,
sure
folks,
did.
On MLW
we sure did.
Quite.
Whiff with an H. You know. We gave it. Yeah.
I played
hard.
just awful. I mean, I'm serious. I can't believe how bad I am at the sport without the practice. I need to practice. Just like those last 2 series of the year, I didn't practice, played terrible, and then practiced again, played good in the playoffs, played pretty good in the Long Island tournament, but I hadn't swung a bat in a couple months, and I was just lost out there.
Tom, you know what
like
you showed me?
Headlights.
You know what you showed me yesterday is you showed me grit.
I mean, I'll give you my all,
grit.
but like I said, Ryan, at some point, the heart's not enough.
So, folks, in game 2 yesterday, we had Tom start the game. We were the away team. We went out. We put up 4 in the top of the first. Tom comes in to pitch. Few walks, few hits. They get 4 back. We're all tied up. You know, we're like, you know what? We're not out of this. We're gonna put 4 more up. So we go out there. We put 4 more runs up. Sure enough, Tom strikes out the first kid, then walks the bases loaded, gives up a grand slam. So, you know, at that point, we decided, you know what, that Tom's day might come to an end. And
Coach, let me have the ball.
And I just had to pry the ball out of Tom's cold, dead fingers by the end of it. I mean,
why not ride with the kid?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I had to.
I'm the kind of guy that if the ship's sinking, man, you got to let it try to get to shore.
Right.
Let me keep going.
You're going down with it.
Yeah, I was ready to take the ship into the ground.
Yeah, when you tried to.
I didn't have my best. Once again, not practicing because back in New York when I threw pretty well, I had been throwing a lot to my Mallards teammates in practice, so I hadn't thrown in a few months. And it showed a bit. The slider was flat. if it was a slider.
Right.
Not too many strikes, but I did have a signature Tom Gypsy strikeout at some point, right?
You did, yeah. No, you did.
Had one.
You had
one
that one pitch yesterday was cool that you threw.
But I gave it my all. I was gonna get on the mound for the championship had we have made it that far, but the bats just weren't there this morning. We faced good pitching, and somehow you guys mercied that team, but
right.
We didn't. I'm trying to remember.
we didn't have
both
any.
the arms we faced today were throwing gas.
Yeah, they were throwing hard,
Even
and
the
they
game
were
we
throwing
won.
strikes. You know, and that's just how. At the
will
end
say,
of the day,
credit to Kracht and Jorgie, they did throw well all tournament.
Yeah, at the end of the day, in the MLW tournaments, especially in Sundays, if the team that can throw the most strikes consistently is mostly going to win, for the most part.
Also, I want to bring up that 10:30 game on Field 3.
Yeah, the 10:30 a.m. slot on Field 3 brought just about, I'd say, at least 57 to 60 people out. I mean, it was a heater. It was something that the people from Texas will never forget.
I was at bat in a full count to tie the game up, and people started getting loud. I started pumping them up, and they were getting loud. Everyone was there, and people were coming up to me after the game, like, "Oh, what a game that was!"
It's
crazy.
special when people are leaving Jimmy Knorp's game to come watch us. You know what I'm saying?
You know it's special when you win a game without getting a single hit. So
that we did do that. That did happen.
Yeah, you gotta be patient.
Yeah, we didn't have one.
You know, a step in the right direction though, Ryan. I didn't overdo it too much.
You know, Tom, listen, so folks here at the Drury Inn in Conroe, they offer a special where there's pretty much just free food from 5:30 to 7.
Might as well just say overdo it here.
Yeah, it
literally should be a sign saying, if you want to overdo it,
if you want to overdo it,
you should stay.
The big neon sign. And they got a few hot dogs, few steamers going. They had some meatballs going, and I saw that, and my heart just sank. I thought, oh my God, this is it for Tom. Just free food, right? We're going out to dinner, and Tom's already making a plate of meatballs. I said, Tom, we're leaving in 5 minutes. What are you making food for? And he's just over there just cooking it up. But honestly, you impressed me.
What?
Just the fact that
the willpower?
Yeah, the willpower to go out there, only eat a few meatballs, only one hot dog before dinner. Then we go to dinner, you ate your food, and I offered you even the rest of my food, and you said no.
Ryan, you were egging me on all weekend. You wanted me to overdo it.
Listen.
Every time Ryan had extra food,
Tom,
the tenders, the fries.
It's hilarious. It's like you don't want your friend to fall off a bike, but if you fell off the bike, it's funny. You know what I mean?
You hope you're recording in that moment.
Right. So watching you overdo it, it makes me happy in a sense of I just like seeing that, you know?
I mean, it's funny to look back on too, but yeah, for a guy that likes, I'm a sucker for a good bargain and I love food. Mm-hmm. Those things come together. It can create the perfect storm, and we had that situation here at the Drury Inn.
You do say, do not ever turn down free food.
I mean, they just got glizzies on roto out there. The buns are steaming.
white glizzies.
The dogs are spinning.
Oh my gosh!
Then, yesterday, there was meatballs. There was salad. Today there was baked potatoes, Alfredo. My favorite food, chicken Alfredo.
Can't turn it down.
On loop. I had 3 plates of it, but I didn't. That was my dinner tonight.
Yeah, but which is fine. That's a normal dinner.
And yesterday at the Fields, I didn't spend a dime on food. Not 1 penny.
Yeah.
Because Ryan, I also stole, Saylor, I'm sorry, I think I stole your Mott sticks.
It's okay, Tom.
Yeah, listen. Here's what happened. So, Saylor and I both at the same time went to grab food from the concessions there. So I got some chicken tenders and fries. Saylor got some Mott sticks. So we realized we had to go because I think Saylor had to ump and I had to play. And so me and Saylor said, we're going to put our food right here. We called it the food bank. We're going to put our food right here.
The sidewalk, the ground.
Maybe we'll come back. Maybe it'll be here, whatever. We go, we play, come back. We just got 3 empty plates sitting there.
Gone.
Yep. I look over and the crumbs are just all over Tom. I said, uh-oh. Oh, no. I know where that went.
Well, someone told me, I think it was you, Ryan. You said, I got chicken tenders, but they're going to be cold now, so I'm not going to eat them. So I said, you're not going to eat them? You said no.
No, see, that was another time. I just like seeing you, I just like seeing you
encouraging
cook.
it. Once again, an enabler.
I am definitely an enabler when it comes to you overdoing it.
So I walked back there, and there was a cup of, it all comes in these little, kind of like coffee cups almost, these styrofoam cups.
Yep.
So there was a cup of tenders, ate those. There was fries next to it, so I said, those must be Ryan's too, ate those. And there was Mott sticks, so I figured you got fries, tenders, and Mott sticks.
The Mott sticks weren't
So
mine.
I ate the Mott sticks, and then I'm sitting there at the desk waiting for people to sign into the tournament, and I see Saylor walk over, and he's kind of looking around. Anybody seen my mozzarella sticks? Nah. I ain't seen them.
Not me.
I'm going crazy.
Not me.
No, I think someone threw them away or something. I don't know.
It had to have been.
But
can we take a minute to just recognize the Scrapyard Sports Complex crew?
They really impressed you this weekend, Benny?
The food service, amazing.
It's self-serve, Benny. It's self-serve.
Bennett, you do
It
realize
was always
that
there
it's
when you
self-serve.
walked in.
It was there.
Full thing of fries.
I will say the hot chocolate was out
this
today.
morning was different.
That really was the difference.
Game
today.
changer.
I will say, me and Nick had been staring at this thing called the Frito pie, and they did give us service. So Benny, you are right. They did have some good service.
Did you try it?
Yeah, I would try, and honestly, it was my favorite.
Oh,
thing
they were
there.
Nick,
what do
loading
you
that
guys say
rack
about
the whole day, food all day.
Nick, what do you guys say about the Frito pie?
It said a Frito pie, and it was just a thing of Fritos. And I looked at Dallas and said, "What's a Frito pie?" He's like, "Yeah, you can take it up there and get chili and cheese added." So they put some cheese and some chili, and I put the cover on and shook it up, and it was great.
They put a lot of chili and cheese on that thing. It was probably way too much.
But shout out to Scrapyard Sports' food complex. Very nice.
Yeah, Scrappers, little sports bar there is nice. Jim fell victim to some good marketing this morning with the G-Pop.
Yeah, so in the little complex, which took a lot of my money this weekend, by the way, I was in and out of there all day. Hot chocolates, chicken tenders, chicken nuggets, whatever.
You name
can
it.
throw
You
at
name
me.
it.
I
Got
mean,
it. You name it.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, we did cover the hot chocolates, Jim.
Okay, some other people might have picked up my tab every now and then. There's some nice guys in this room, can't lie. But
Yep.
what really caught my eye this morning, and keep in mind, for some reason in Texas, it was like 35 degrees out there this morning. Couldn't believe that.
It was a very brisk morning.
Yeah, was not expecting that. Didn't pack for that, not at all. But anyways, I'm going to the cooler where the ice creams are, and I see a Gatorade pop, and I'm intrigued. I'm like, what is a Gatorade pop? And it's this little frozen Gatorade in like a very small cup, and you're supposed to lick it. But the problem is, Tom, is that the cup is like not great to be able to lick something out of it. You know what I'm saying? So I was intrigued. I went to eat it, and as Tom knows, I was having trouble eating it, and I was all excited about my little Gatorade pop, which I spent $2 on, and I squeezed it really hard, and the whole thing just popped right out of the cup and right into the turf. So no more Gatorade pop for me. Never really got to have the full experience I was looking for, but nonetheless, what a crazy item in that little store.
Yeah. Did anyone try the pickle pop?
A couple of fans offered me a pickle pop. They're like, Knorp, we bought you a pickle pop. We want you to try it. And I was like, there's no chance.
Yeah,
there's simply no chance I'm going to devour a pickle.
I love
right
pickles, but
yeah,
like,
if we want to talk devouring a pickle, let's talk about Josh Young and what
I've never seen anybody house anything quite quicker than the way Josh Young.
Oh my God, never stood a chance.
No,
never stood a chance. The minute the pickle touched his lips, it didn't come off his lips until it was gone.
Incredible.
You just don't see that.
He's a superhuman athlete.
He's a superhuman and just in general at this point.
Yeah, I missed that. I heard the story. Was it like a gas station pickle thing or what?
It was just a bagged pickle, Tom. Just a pickle in a sandwich bag.
In a bag.
Who knows where it came from? Josh didn't
guy.
seem to care where it came from.
I'm not a pickle guy. I like dill pickle flavored stuff like Lay's dill pickle's good. Dill pickle seeds are good.
Mm-hmm.
But pickles and me never got along too well. I'll eat them, but I'm not going to be the guy. Like, I'm usually the guy, like, anyone want this pickle on my plate? Like, I'll offer it up first before I eat it.
Right.
But
always a pickle guy.
You like pickles?
No, but there's always one in the group.
Josh got me onto some food that I got to try now. He says something called a butter cake.
Butter cake, yeah.
Never heard of that. If anyone
cake.
listening has ever had a butter cake, let us know, because Josh was raving about them, and I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
Maybe I haven't quite made it to that tier of life yet to get the butter cakes.
God knows I'm going to find out, though.
Chili's doesn't offer butter cakes, I don't think, Jim.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Pretty much.
You give him a call for me, Jim.
Jim, is that how it goes for you? If it's not on Chili's menu, you probably don't know what it is.
I probably have no idea what it is.
Yeah, probably never seen it, heard of it, or care.
What was Dal and Benny? How did Mr. Schultz play this weekend? What was he doing out there? Where was he playing? Where was he at in the order?
Benny will lead us off, and I'll go off of what he says.
Let me tell you about Mr. Schultz. He batted third behind Dow leading off and then me. He provided consistency in that lineup, a good at-bat, and grit.
I'll tell you what. He did what MLW Red does. We get the job done.
He found a way to win.
We found a way to get the job done.
I'm kind of disappointed that Dallas ended up on the MLW Red roster after we talked so poorly about him last tournament, and he was talking down on MLW Red, and now he got to be on Red. It seems seems like you should have been on White this
I
tournament.
was never talking down about MLW Red.
on White. We didn't need it.
Is there actually like a hierarchy? Like, does he always go blue, red, white?
Blue's just always
I know
superior,
blue's
and
always
everybody
the best.
knows that.
Because I feel like I'm always on the lowest bar. of
Hey,
the
Jim,
hierarchy.
can we talk about that?
I'd love to talk. Yeah.
In the, no disrespect to my fellow MLW players. Why did I get demoted?
I don't make the rosters.
All right,
Kyle
all right.
tells
You
me
can-
where
you can
I'm playing,
request.
and I play.
You can
Fair
say,
enough.
hey, Kyle, maybe this time I don't want to play in MLW Blue. I
But
want to go
MLW
red.
Blue is always the team that wins, and I like to win.
Well, maybe challenge yourself a little bit.
Jim said, I get told by Kyle, he knows he's MLW blue every single time.
Every time.
These are all false statements. I get excited to read the group text message about who's on what team, just like everybody else in this
Jimmy
room, right?
Knorp, Kyle Schultz, Nick Saylor, MLW blue, lock in every tournament. Every tournament.
So then we got an MLB player, or it's Ryan. So you got demoted by Josh Young. I mean,
I'll take it.
Going to an MLW tournament, knowing MLW Blue's going to feature Kyle, Nick, and Jimmy is like Walmart forcing out your local mom and pop shop and all of the other MLW teams.
I think
Hold on, I need to say
I don't know
something.
if I understood that
What
reference.
does that mean?
Yeah.
What is that?
Thank you. I was like, what is Benny? What's coming out of Benny's
we
mouth
don't
right
stand
now?
a chance. We don't stand a chance. The little guys aren't going to stand a chance against MLW.
You're the
Blue.
last dog at the bowl.
I'll tell you what.
Ooh.
I struck out to Josh Young in the championship game in our first AB, and I go, this is USA versus Russia and Miyoko, and we're not Russia. But we did not provide and perform like USA
You know,
did
I want to
in that
give
game.
Dallas Allen some credit today.
Wow.
Dallas struggled with the balls a little bit on Saturday. I came in. Bennett got the job done.
Benny
on
got the
Saturday.
job done.
You don't hear that said too often.
Labored through 3-inning games, but that's okay, or 3 innings of work. But Dallas came back today. Dallas was a bulldog, pitched about every inning of every game, fought through it till his arm about fell off.
My arm is not feeling the greatest.
And
that's
Dallas
for sure.
got us to the championship.
The noodle it's hurting. But, you know, you got to get there.
Just a cakewalk path to the ship.
And
for
my
MLW Red.
my voice is shot, so yeah.
Ryan, we boring you here?
Jesus, what are you doing? Oh,
Sorry, guy. It's late.
He's
Easy.
late.
Easy. It's late.
Not meaning to change the subject, but you know,
Please do.
This isn't about wiffle ball. It's about the travel. How hot was that plane on our way down here?
Ask Tom. Ask Tom about that
Ask Tom's
plane.
pits about how hot
Yeah.
that plane was.
Yeah.
You know, why do I wear gray ever? Just a never a good choice.
Just a mistake.
Yeah.
I've had a rough few weeks in the armpit department.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
You have.
serious.
Tom, you know what you have, and I've noticed that.
Well, we talked about this before. One time, I forget who was on the pod. I think it was Jack, myself, and we had a guest. Might have been Drew. I don't remember, but I made a woman's deodorant comment, and Jack's like, "I'm gonna graze over the fact Tom just said he uses woman deodorant." And what happens is, I think I'd use the same degree antiperspirant every day for months at a time, and it's usually fine. It doesn't let me down as they promise. But then all of a sudden, like my body flips a switch, and it just starts failing every day. I'll be sitting at home doing nothing, working on my computer, just sweating. So usually I just switch brands, and then I'm good. Like I'll switch brands for like 3-4 days, come back to the degree, good to go. Bennett, what are you doing? You're on camera. Leave that off, dude. It's the fan's too hot. Yeah. We're gonna be sweating here soon now, huh?
Yeah, we'll be. It's
Part,
those
part,
pits.
part of the
Check those
process, Fuel.
pits.
Part of the process.
Tom's wearing gray.
No, this is a greenish gray.
Not
I have sweat through the shirt before, I'll be honest. But yeah, I can't seem to correct the ship here. I've switched brands. I've tried the aluminum free. I've tried Degree, Dove. I have an Old Spice. It just lasts like 3
Tom.
weeks, man.
Tom,
Been tough.
some people are just sweaty, man. It's all right.
I know I'm not hot. I mean,
You're just sweaty.
but that plane was really hot, so it was like
It wasn't that bad.
That plane was,
Yes, it was.
so hot.
It
You
was-
think so?
was
Well, you were in
so-
between. You were in between me and Jorgie, Jim. So you just were. It was
Yeah, I
never
was in the
meant to
middle
be.
seats. My arms were down.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't just a recipe for failure.
Yeah. It was.
So yeah,
not
I had to
good.
change my shirt when we got to the airport.
Yeah.
Also, me, Jim, and Ryan next to each other on an airplane is
Not a good combo.
Yeah.
No.
We're
We
just
don't.
like,
We don't like planes,
Yeah, we just.
which is
Yeah.
crazy because we do a lot of flying, and it's just like I'm okay, but I'm not comfortable.
Yeah,
You know.
I'm not like scared of planes. I just get like I don't even know what happens. I just like I need to put my head down. Like I get
Yeah.
some sort of motion sickness, anxiety, and then Jim hates planes. Brian hates planes. We're all looking at each other like,
Me and Jim are just making eye contact.
Yeah.
We know something. Yeah.
Like, is this normal?
Yeah.
We kind of lock eyes. We don't
Yeah.
say anything,
No,
but we lock eyes.
both know what we're thinking.
We both know that we're in trouble.
we're
Let's put it that
landing and
way. We're in trouble.
feels like the plane's almost turning sideways, and we're all looking at each other like, is this supposed to
this
do
is
this?
it.
I
This
don't
is
know
it,
about
Jim.
this.
It's not even like you would think by now. We've traveled the country to play wiffle ball. I've been on plenty of planes. It
Exactly.
hasn't gotten any easier. And the thing is, Tom always tells me this stat. He's like, well, Jim, if you get in a car crash, like you're much more likely to get in a car crash than a plane crash. And my
100%.
argument to Tom is, well, yeah, Tom, but if I get a car crash, there's a good chance I'm going to survive. If that plane's on the way down, That's it.
You don't survive a plane crash.
That's what I said.
You know what they say?
That's it.
You know what they say, Jim, is the most dangerous part of travel, like plane travel, is the car ride to and from the airport.
That's just a ridiculous statement, though, I think. Doesn't feel that way.
Now, and you know what's an even more ridiculous one, and I've seen this on TikTok, so I don't know how real it is or how true it is. You are more, you're more safe on a plane than you are a train.
More safe on a plane than you are a train. Certainly doesn't feel that way, though.
That's what I think, because you're on tracks and all that, but
I flew separate from these guys, and it was a kind of a scary flight for me because, well, it was turbulence, not great, and literally the day before I took my flight, I was taking a quiz on plane crashes in my history of flight class.
Benny, what are you taking history of flight for?
An elective.
Oh, just cuz?
Yeah, just cuz.
That's interesting.
Learned about the history of
flight. I would guess.
And flight.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It also doesn't help my fear of flying that right before the plane takes off, I get a text from Tom that says, "Man, I hope this engine doesn't fail right now." Like, thanks, Tom. That makes me feel real good.
No, I said, Jim, if this bird goes down, I'll see you on the other side.
Yeah.
Well, you have no control. That's why I don't have a fear of it. It's like, it's out of your hands. You're a passenger. And those planes don't crash, ever.
Yeah, Benny was talking about he had a plane crash. Well, my dad, he always watches flight crashes before he gets on a plane. I don't know how he does that.
What's wrong with that guy?
Yeah, I don't know why my dad does that, but he always watches plane crashes, simulations.
So if our plane crashes on the way home, is this pod still gonna release?
Oh.
No.
We'll do what we can to get it out.
Okay. I don't know who would do it. We're all probably Casey, right?
Yeah, he's on a
Casey
separate flight.
Yeah, Benny, you got it.
Casey can live.
We're not going down. We should stop talking about this now.
Well, you never know.
I mean, just like when you get into a car, Jim, when you get into a plane, there's a chance it could go down, but the chances of the car going down are way higher than the plane going down.
You know what's funny is I golfed with a pilot this summer, and I just got randomly paired with him, and I was telling him about all these normal fears that I have of that, and he's thought it was the stupidest thing he's ever heard. He was telling me how what's the point, and kind of what Tom was just saying. It's out of your control. It's out of your hands. There's nothing.
Well, I will say I'd be very hesitant to ever get on a plane where it's not necessarily a private plane, but a privately owned plane.
That's actually what he flew for.
There's parents that say a dad owns a plane and flies his family around. You hear about those crashing more often than commercial flight.
Right.
Delta flights or Spirit flights, wherever you fly, you don't hear about those crashing ever.
No.
They do a good job
But
covering
you do hear
up.
so-and-so was flying his wife somewhere and they got into a plane crash on the runway or whatever. That is more common when it's a rinky-dink airplane than these commercial planes. Yeah. There's so many checks in place, Jim, that it's near impossible. Near impossible.
Yeah, but it's not.
Saying there's a chance.
There's a chance. There's definitely a chance when you get into the air, but I'm willing to take that risk. I'm more afraid of swimming in the ocean, a shark biting me.
Also terrifying. But why would you ever be swimming in the ocean?
I usually avoid it.
I hope so.
But I meant not in the deep. I'm saying at the beach, for example.
But you're in shallow grounds.
But sharks come in shallow grounds. It does happen.
I'm actually terrified of the ocean. So scared of it.
We were deep fishing and I got seasick once. And my dad's like, "Oh, just jump in." And I'm like, "People are catching sharks. I'm not jumping in. You crazy?" Well, what was the stat line, Bennett? How did you assess your performance compared to your last outing?
My last outing. What was my last outing?
Probably NWLA.
Oh no,
good Lord. We don't need to talk about NWLA. That's just today.
Roll it.
Well, I came off the mound at NWLA after not being able to throw a strike. They pulled me, and I chucked my hat at the bench, and I missed the bench with my hat.
That sounds about right.
couldn't hit anything that day.
Yeah.
I helped Dallas out in our first game on Saturday. Came in through 2 shutout innings to end that game, and then our next game I labored through 3 innings of 7-run ball. But you know what? At the end of the day, MLW Red got the job done.
Yep, nice.
Pair of 8-7 wins on Saturday. Mark Schultz.
Benny threw me 1 pitch today. How'd that go, Benny?
When you face a guy all summer,
no.
Answer
what happened first.
Yeah.
What happened?
You threw me 1 pitch today.
I threw Jim 1 pitch, and he fell down and hit a home run as he was collapsing to the ground.
In a game or
In a game, this was the one pitch I threw to him in the championship game. Belts a 2-run homer. I mean, when you see the same pitch all summer, you're bound to hit it out.
I will say I was on the field across the way umping it, and I hear some banter going on, and I hear Jim saying like, "Oh, I faced this guy all summer," or whatever. First pitch riser, Jim almost gets down to a knee and just pokes it out, and they're just dying laughing. I'm like, dude, what just happened?
Poor
over there?
Bennett. Poor Bennett.
Or Benny.
Yeah, that's just
Something
not.
new.
This, that's not. Yeah, it's not.
Bennett
on
really
you,
takes a
Bennett.
lot. He takes too much.
Bennett does
I
take
can
a lot
hold
of
up.
heat. Bennett's always in the kitchen.
You can't hurt me.
I don't
Fair
know.
enough.
Can't.
At some point, you're bound to break, Bennett.
Yeah.
He came into this weekend MLW Red knowing what was going on, and he kept saying the same quote over and over. Benny, what were you saying?
We find a way.
And he kept saying it over and over to a point where it's getting annoying, but it worked. So I give
spoke it
Benny
into
props for
existence.
all of his positive mental approach this weekend. That's one positive I give to you, Benny.
We ran out of gas a little bit, Dal. We kind of
Yeah.
rode Dal until his arm fell off.
Yeah,
but
it was ugly in the championship. We're not going to go into details, but
that doesn't matter, Dal. You were shoving earlier to this
Yeah.
afternoon.
I'll
this
tell
morning.
you what, my first 2 games on Sunday, I don't know if I've thrown 2 better games than that. But then after that, the good old elbow said, "Yeah, no, you're done. No more strikes for you."
Bad management. Benny was on the pine, ready to go. Just like me on white.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's
Just
why
like
we
me
were.
on
That's why we were cooking Tom up in the oven. He was on slow roast in the crock pot.
I was, dude.
We were
I was
just
so
waiting.
ready.
Just waiting to let him eat. Tom's
gonna go down.
wing was just getting more and more loose as the day went on.
What the young man.
I'll tell you what, those boys from MLW Blue and MLW Red are lucky. You are lucky you didn't see that. You didn't. You'd have no idea.
You never know. I mean, I could have had a great day. The odds of that happening probably low, but you never know.
Tom, I know one thing though. You're gonna let it sing, huh? Hey, quick shout out to Stephen McGlade for the "Let It Sing" quote. Yeah.
I was actually getting quite angry when Tom was out on the mound and wouldn't come off in
why?
that second. You were blowing the game, brother.
It's on pool play. It didn't matter. We'd already won a game.
We were just trying to get. Tom, I haven't made the semifinals one time in MLW tournament. I'm trying to put us
in one basket. You're spending all your resources on Saturday when it doesn't
one
matter.
basket.
Tom, I was all for you trying to figure it out on the mound and everything, but just the comedic relief when we scored 4 more after you gave up those 4, and you just walked the bases loaded and give up a grand slam. We just had to.
We were doing everything we
had to
could,
take
and this
it,
kid
yeah.
was just selling.
But like I said earlier, we had to pry it out of your hands. You wouldn't just give it to us.
You did do better.
Tom does not just give up the rock.
Did do better this tournament than he did in Phoenix. So
Yeah,
we'll
but
give you that.
it was a step backwards from Long Island, unfortunately.
Yeah, I wasn't. Were you solid in Long Island?
So the first inning, I was kind of just trying to get it over, and these kids were hammering the ball. Just balls flying over the fence left and right. So then I was like, second inning, I got to actually try something. So I was mixing in a slider, mixing in a little screwball 2-seam type thing. I had the drop ball going, and I think I threw then 2 more innings of shutout ball. I'm not sure if I threw again or not, but we played pretty good, actually, in New York. Once again, I think I lost in the quarters or semis, but Benny.
Tom, are we ever going to see you back to peak form in MLW on the mound?
No.
Okay.
How's the paper coming, Jim?
Paper, still a page deep. Yeah, for all you people out there, finals right now going on. Made the trip anyways. Wanted to be with the fellas, wanted to see the fans. So been grinding. Me and Nicholas over there have been joking all week. He'd be like, "Yeah, we got like 2 more games left today, and we're gonna win a title." I'm like, "Yeah," and then I gotta write that essay tonight. So it's been in my back of the mind
and Jim,
all trip.
Jim, what do we do tonight?
What did we do tonight? Oh,
Oh,
the fellas win, and they tossed the stones a little bit tonight at the
Bonetto.
lanes. Tossed the stones.
We rolled the rock.
Right?
Oh,
Awful. I mean,
oh,
tough conditions.
tough conditions. Yes, tough conditions.
Speak for yourself. No, I pulled the perfect game tonight.
Yeah.
I pulled the perfect game tonight.
Go check my story. You'll see
Yeah.
the perfect game from Ryan Kracht and him take a straw off in the middle of the bowling alley.
I had to. I rolled a PG. That's part of it.
That warrants it. I do what I do best. I hit the jackpot on a game in the arcade.
Yeah.
The height pitch.
That's how you
we're
work,
just-
Tom.
That was actually a skill. That was no
That
joke.
was skill, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
one game. It's called Hype Pitch, where you throw the ball and then there's like targets, and the tightest one is like the biggest multiplier. So it multiplies your speed by your multiplier. So the bullseye is 32x. I only threw it about 60 miles per hour, but I hit 32x all 3 times, and I beat the high score jackpot. Everybody got skills. It was great.
So you could hit the zone at the bowling alley, but not at the wiffle ball tournament?
Correct.
Okay. Just making sure. But yeah, Tom just comes back. He's like, yeah, just go up to the prize machine, just get whatever you want. You know, we're all
He could hit it.
turns.
He could hit it because he was throwing a baseball.
Yeah,
Nobody said Tom pounded the zone back in the day with a baseball.
So I've heard.
Back in my heyday.
So I've heard.
Back in the day, you know what? Tom was the stereotype of just a perfect sound baseball player. He wasn't going to go out there and hit the home run. He wasn't going to go out there and hit the gap shot double here and there, but he'd go out there, he'd flick it over the second baseman's head, and he threw strikes when he was called upon. He wouldn't complain.
That is well said, my friend. That is well said.
Yep. I
I'll
know
go
that.
out there. You put me out there against a mediocre team, and I'm going to give you mediocre work, and we're going to win that ball game.
Yep. Just like Bennett says.
Just
Find
like
a way.
Bennett says.
Yeah.
So funny, Bennett. No comment.
He just shakes his head.
All
All
right.
right.
Well, let's wrap. All right. 2023 is coming to a close.
Mhm.
A lot of us traveled on a multitude of different trips. We'll start with Jimmy over here. Favorite travel moment of the year? Go.
Favorite travel moment of the year? Where have I been? Been Houston. Been to New York. I really did like this Houston tournament, though. I gotta say, it's definitely up there for me. Haven't came to the Houston tournament yet. This is MLW's 3rd time here, my 1st time. Josh Young, we haven't really talked about Josh yet in this, and like just super cool guy. Like the way he, helps out when we're done. It's like things you don't have to do. Super cool with all the fans. Super cool to us. Super cool to me. So I think this tournament was really fun, man. I mean, there's a lot of good talent here, and for an MLW championship, like MLW Blue played MLW Red in the championship, and this is one of the most talented tournaments we've hosted. So I think Houston was a great way to end the year.
I think my favorite trip or kind of travel, we didn't really have to go far. When us D-backs played the Eagles, I've never really played for MLW in front of fans. We played at SoFi, but there was no fans in attendance. We didn't allow fans. Right? Yeah, that was really cool.
Right,
Going to the corner ballpark, having fans pretty much surrounded all around the field behind the fence. Pish hit a big home run. Shout out Big Pish.
Big Pish
Sent the crowd going crazy. It was a cool experience.
The Big Pish. Good guy. This is Tom checking in, and I'd say my
Hey,
favorite. I want to give maybe 2. Is that fair? Can I give 2?
Yeah, that's fair.
It's your show, man.
So I guess we'll go MLW strictly, like on our travel schedule. I'd say probably Philadelphia was up there for me. That was just a very unique environment in front of fans. Once again, that was the Mallards' first. Well, we played in Oklahoma last year, but this was cooler, objectively speaking. And special shout out, honorable mention was probably the Rober trip as well.
Yeah,
That was pretty unique.
Super sick.
I mean, this was the only place I traveled to this year, so I had to say this.
Poor Gators.
Wow,
Yeah,
that was a really
poor
backhanded
Gators.
Yeah.
Well deserved, but
Poor
got to come here
Gators.
with my guys. Shout out to my amazing girlfriend Nicole for coming out.
Oh, my
Oh.
God.
Hey, she came
Insert
out.
fart
So
noise.
sappy.
She gave you a blanket.
She did. Actually, shout out Nicole. I appreciate that.
She brought some
I
cookies.
got to agree with Jim. New York was a great time. Houston, we just had a lot of fun, but just hanging out, meeting Josh. This was my first time meeting Josh. I think it was the same for you, Jim. So
I met him once.
my bad. So
He signed my
just
ring
meeting
on the
him,
side.
talking to him. He's a super down to earth guy, and you couldn't even tell that he just won, the World Series 2 months ago. So
He was kind of a lot like us. Like he
yeah,
was kinda
yeah,
like
and I
really well.
loved how much he loved MLW and wiffle ball. It was really cool to see him out there. So that was probably one of my favorite parts this year.
Yeah, he was talking about how every video he watches, he said he would like look forward to when he came back from like
Right.
a Friday game. He'd look
Right.
forward to like Saturday afternoon
Right.
where he could watch our videos
Right.
and stuff. So
You're just talking a lot of trash to me during that game, but it's all right. Yeah,
Josh
this
was giving Dallas and Casey the business.
Yeah, and he was able to back up his talk, that's for sure. I agree with Jim and Ryan, though. I love this tournament. This was great with all the guys, but even though we blew a 2-0 lead in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, that's got to be my favorite trip. I mean, playing in front of fans in the World Series, at one of the greatest and probably biggest and best NFL stadiums. It doesn't get much better than that. So I did enjoy that trip to Mercedes-Benz.
Nicholas.
Last but not least,
Texas was awesome. This is my second time being here. You know, second time playing with Josh, and everything they've said about Josh is 100% true. He's down to earth. He's chill, and he's just a real dude. So Texas, I love being here. Everything is bigger in Texas. But also, nobody has hit on Vermont yet. I had a lot of fun this year in Vermont. Yep. Slam T1D out there. That was fun, the 9-on-9 tournament. And the series against Dallas's Eagles. I enjoyed that trip, and I'm thankful to be part of this league and being able to go on these trips in this year.
But Saylor, how does it compare to the 2021 Oklahoma series?
2021 Oklahoma series, Tom, is something I will never forget.
I know.
I never forget.
It's a good time.
Many good times.
Shout out to Lee.
It's kind of
Lee and Jason's pad.
That's right.
It's kind of crazy too. Like, you asked me that question first about my favorite trip, and like, you just brought up Vermont and you brought up the Rover video, like things I didn't really think of right away, just because
that was a highlight of Jim's career.
Like all the things that we've done.
Derby.
Like, yeah, I think honestly Vermont, I would probably change my to Vermont. Like the Slam T1D thing was super cool for me too, and winning that Derby was awesome. But just like not even thinking these things, like the Rover video, that was this year. It feels like forever ago. So all the places we've been this year is nuts.
Right. And you went to San Francisco with that too.
Went to San Francisco and got to go to Oracle Park and pitch on the San Francisco Giants mound, which was awesome. So it's been a crazy year, man.
Wild year. Well, thanks for being here,
super
fellas.
wild time.
It's been a late night. It's a late night for the fellas.
Yeah,
I'm tired,
still have
Tom.
to finish an essay.
I'm ready to turn in.
Let's wrap this up, Tom.
It's almost 1 a.m.
Let's wrap. You want to wrap us, Ryan? Take me home.
Take me home.
All right, I'll take. You know what, Tom? I'll take us home. Folks, this has been another group pod here in Texas, as Nick Saylor would say.
Texas.
We enjoy doing these for you. We enjoy that you guys enjoy us, and we just enjoy everything about this. Shut up, Blade Walker.
We have fun.
He had fun.
It was a lot of fun.
He had fun. Anyways, thanks for listening, and we will see you next week.